Hi, everyone. I'll take a second and adjust my mat. Let's see. I think that's better. Okay, everyone. Thanks for being here. I'd love for you to leave a comment if you're joining. Hi, Alyssa. Oh, it's so nice to have you. For this class, you need 2 blocks and a strap or a strap equivalent. So a belt can work. I would go for more of like a soft belt rather than a leather belt. You could use the sash from a robe, like a bathrobe. You could use just a towel from the bathroom or the kitchen. That works well too. Let us go ahead and get started. Okay. So grab your 2 blocks and put them on the second setting and make them almost like an equal sign at the back edge of your mat. So they're fairly close together. And then come to sit down in front of them. I think we did this last week. If you joined, lean back and take your shoulder blades to the first block. You'll kind of know it when you feel it. It feels as if the shoulder blades like really belong there. And then the head goes on the second block. I kind of have to adjust my hair each time. So do what you need to do. Okay. And then for this time, we're just going to you can pull the heels in towards the seat a little bit and keep the knees bent and let the knees knock in on one another. If you want to take the feet a little bit wider, you can also just keep the feet in line with the hips, with the knees bent and the legs parallel, knees pointing up towards the ceiling. With the arms, I recommend that you take them out to the sides, just directly out from the shoulder blades, palms face up. And then you can close your eyes and just allow yourself to take this shape with support. Allow yourself to come onto your mat, to come into your space. And I wanted to share a few things here. There's a lot of talk recently about using our voice, and we're going to address that physically and energetically in this class. But in my opinion, using your voice well is also inherently tied to this other yoga teaching called Svadhyaya, which means self-study. And, self-study is the practice of looking inward, of studying our own habits and tendencies. Because ultimately, if we want to speak up or speak out, if we want to do that in a way that causes the least amount of harm to others, we have to evaluate our own habits and tendencies, or else whatever comes out of our mouths will just be a reflection of our habits and tendencies. And so in this process, in this call to let your voice be heard, take the steps also to excavate and explore and discover your internal state, your internal views, beliefs, and understand a little bit more, study a little bit more the maybe unconscious habits, the below the surface tendencies that we all have, and not to be confused with being bad or wrong. We all kind of grow up or create these habits based off of the things that are around us. And we know too that we have habits that are good, and those can be recognized as well. It's more about knowing what's there rather than trying to look for something wrong or bad. It's just knowing where you're starting from, where you're coming from before you let your voice be heard. As you are here in your body, I want you to take your attention to one more thing. Just notice take your attention to like the pelvic belly and just notice the crease in the hips. And as you kind of are here, either with, if the knees are knocked together, just notice the slight internal rotation of the thigh bones. Notice the softening and like deepening of the groin. There's nothing to do, just to notice that. Take the arms by the sides and press the palms down. Feel the forearms pressing down into the mat. And then if you have the knees knocked together, heel toe the feet wider so that the soles of the feet are pressing firmly down into the floor. Bring a tuck to the chin, moving slowly here, and then press down into the forearms and the hands to lift yourself slowly up. Bring the feet further away from the seat and then wrap the arms around the knees so the knees just rest in the crooks of the elbows. Let one hand catch the other. Keep the eyes closed and just let yourself release out of this first posture. Noticing where there's energy, fresh blood. Excuse me. Let the eyes open. Lean back and cross your right shin in front of your left, finding Sukhasana. Keep the feet a little active here, and then interlace the hands behind you. Let the heels of the hands go wide, and then reach the hands down towards the floor behind you as you lift the sternum up, lift the chin up. Upper arm bones externally rotate. Breathing in, breathing out. Come back to neutral. Release the hands. Take your blocks, put them on the lowest setting behind you, about shoulder width distance apart. Take your hands to the blocks, lean back, uncross the feet, soles of the feet press. And then lift the hips up. Let the head fall back, reverse tabletop on the blocks. Exhale, lower the seat back down, cross left shin in front of the right, Sukhasana, and then interlace the hands again behind you. Take the the non-habitual interlacing. So sometimes I have to do regular and then go back and do the opposite. Let the heels of the hands go wide. Pull the hands down towards the floor. Let the chest lift. Upper arm bones externally rotate. Chin lifts. Breathe in. Breathe out. Come back to neutral. This time, pull your blocks to the front edge of your mat. Lean back. Fingertips face forward. Uncross the feet. Feet down. Hips up. Let the head fall back. Reverse tabletop. And lower this seat back down. Make sure you have a block nearby and then catch behind the knees and roll onto your back. Put the block between your thigh bones. And then take the arms long by the sides. The fingertips graze the backs of the heels. From here, squeeze the block with the thighs. And see if you can press the block towards your heels or towards your calves. There's a little bit of that internal rotation again, softening in the pelvic belly or the groin. And then see if you can keep pushing the block down towards the heels as you lift the seat up. And then you can interlace the hands underneath you. We're not going to do a really big full bridge, but you can roll the shoulders just a little bit underneath the back. Keep pressing the block down. So you still have this like softness in the groin as you lift up. And then you can still reach the tailbone towards the knees. So it's somewhere in the middle. We're not trying to find, when I say internally rotate and soften the groin, we don't mean by like a ton. We're finding just a little bit of that and a little bit of reaching the tailbone towards the knees. And then lower down, release. And then we'll lift up one more time. Again, block presses down, interlace hands, opposite interlacing. Lift up. And slowly lower back down. Remove the block to the side, roll over to your left side and press yourself up. Come to stand on the knees. And then take the block back between the thighs. Again, feel the thigh bones internally rotate. So we're going to use this block, this moment, a few more times to feel this. Hands come to the waist, thumbs come to the top of the buttock flesh. So as you internally rotate or think about reaching the block back behind you. Naturally, it might feel like you want to stick your butt out, and that's okay. But then balance that by reaching the tailbone down towards the knees. And then once you find that in the lower body, lift the sternum up, chin lifts, gaze might go up towards the ceiling, or maybe you just trace your gaze to where the wall meets the ceiling. Breathing in, breathing out, come back to center, remove the block, take the 2 blocks to the front of your mat on the lowest setting, hands come to blocks now. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Go ahead and pedal out the feet. Shake the head no. And then from here, begin to walk the feet forward towards the front of the mat. Bring the feet together, bend the knees, knees go wide, heels stay heavy, and reach the hands forward for yogi squat or malasana. Let the heels hang heavy, tailbone hangs heavy, forehead even hangs heavy. Breathing in. Breathing out, and then walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Hands come to blocks now. Lift the hips, extend the legs, and then just walk the feet up so that they're in between the blocks. Take a half lift, fingertips come to the block. On the exhale, left foot steps back, drop the left knee down, untuck the toe, and then just drape the torso over the top of your right thigh bone. You can even let the head hang heavy here. Hands stay on the blocks. Send breath to the front of your left thigh, your left hip flexor, to find a little bit of a release there. And then lift yourself up, take the blocks to the highest setting, tuck your back toe, lift your back knee, and then keep your spine in its neutral setting and just extend your front leg. So if you feel like you have to curve the back a lot to find this, keep a little softness in the front knee. That's why we've got the blocks under the hands here. Breathing in. Breathe out, just bend the knee, come back to low lunge. 2 more times like this. Breathe in, straighten front leg, just a little bit of hamstring release. Exhale, bend the knee, look forward. Again, breathe in, straighten the leg. Again, no strain here at all. No need to strain, just soft, keep the knee soft if it's still too much with the blocks. Exhale, bend the knee. And then inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, step the left foot forward, take a half lift. Exhale, lower the blocks to the lowest setting and right back. Drop the right knee, untuck the right toes, and then drape your torso over the left leg. So this left armpit kind of sits right on top of the right thigh bone, or the left thigh bone. Let the head fall heavy. Breathing in, finding the release in the front of the right leg. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Lift up enough so you can take the blocks to the highest setting. Tuck your right toe, lift your right knee, and then straighten out your left leg any amount here. No strain in the left hamstring or back of the leg anywhere. On your next exhale, you'll bend the knee, and then we'll move through this a few more times. Inhale, straighten left leg. Exhale, bend the knee, look forward. Inhale, straighten left leg. Exhale, bend the knee. Yeah. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Exhale, step the right foot forward next to the left. Move the blocks forward, take a half lift. Exhale, hands come to the waist. Inhale, stand all the way up. Exhale, heel toe the feet together. Take the arms by the sides. Gather the hands in front of your heart. Let the eyes close. And today I want you to dedicate this class or your practice to whatever is on your heart, or to whoever is on your heart. You know, let's not ignore the fact that there's a massive movement for racial justice happening right now. And so many of our hearts may be there. Don't try to take yourself away from that. Let yourself be with it. So maybe you dedicate your practice to, people that are feeling oppressed. Maybe you dedicate it to the Black community or people of color, or maybe it's a specific person. Maybe, for me, it's my mom's birthday today. So there's, half my heart feels like I'm dedicating to this larger movement for justice, and half of my heart is wanting to dedicate this class to my mom. So again, do dedicate the practice to whoever and whatever is on your heart, and let that be perfectly good and fine. Flutter the eyes open and take the hands by the sides. Soften the knees, hook thumbs in front, reach up and arch back. Exhale, bend the knees even more, swing the arms behind you, interlace the hands and fold. The hands reach up and overhead. Breathe in, fingertips graze the floor and then reach up, bend the knees, chair pose. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step your left foot back, drop your left knee down. Breathe in, hook thumbs, reach up, arch back. Exhale, hands come to the mat, downward facing dog. Breathe in, roll to plank pose. Breathe out, lower all the way to the belly. Untuck the toes, lift the head in the chest, cobra pose. Exhale, forehead comes to the mat, come back, downward facing dog. Pedal up the feet a few more times if you need. Shake the head no, and then settle in. One more cycle in and out. Breathe in, right leg lifts. Breathe out, step the foot forward between the hands, back knee taps down. Inhale, hook thumbs, reach up, arch back. Exhale, hands come to the mat, left foot steps forward, next to the right, and fold. Breathe in, sit hips low, arms reach up, chair pose. Exhale, swing the arms behind yours and fold, hands reach up and over. Soften the knees, hook thumbs in front, stand all the way up, reach up and back. Exhale, reverse it, bend the knees, swing the arms behind you, interlace opposite or non-habitual away, and fold. Inhale, chair pose, arms reach up, hips sit low. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, right foot steps back, drop your right knee down. Inhale, hook thumbs, reach up, arch back. Exhale, hands come to the mat, downward facing dog, left foot steps back. Breathe in, roll to plank pose. Breathe out, lower the knees, arch the back, lower the chest and the chin. Untuck the toes, press into the shins, slide forward, baby cobra. Exhale, forehead comes to the mat and move back to downward facing dog. Pedal up the feet for the first cycle of breath. And then settle in. Press through the hands. Integrity in the arms and the shoulders. One more cycle of breath. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step the foot forward between the hands, back knee taps down. Breathe in, hook thumbs, reach up, arch back. Exhale, hands to the mat, right foot steps forward, next to the left, and fold. Inhale, sit hips low, arms up, chair pose. Exhale, swing the arms behind you, interlace fingers opposite way, and fold. Inhale, hook the opposite thumb in front, reach up, arch back. Exhale, this time pull the hands through heart center and find Tadasana, arms by the sides. Lean down, pick up a block and put it between the thighs once again. We'll work with this a lot. Lift your left arm up. Take your right hand to the shoulder blade, the left shoulder blade. And then as you reach up, feel like use the right hand to rotate the shoulder blade. It's a little bit of rotating it down, like the bottom edge of the shoulder blade rotates out and forward. And even just doing this a little bit with your hand, gently, you'll notice that it already creates the structure of lifting the sternum up, lifting the chin up for a back bend. Breathing in, breathing out, come back to center, release. We're going to take the other side, re-engage the legs, push the block back with the thigh bones. As you heavy the tailbone, right arm reaches up. So keep what we've already learned in the lower half of the body. Left hand comes to the right shoulder blade. And then once again, just play around with moving the bottom edge of that shoulder blade, rotating it like a little bit out and forward. Or you might feel like you're rotating it, pressing it like a little bit in the bottom half in and forward, and it already lifts the whole chest space, lifts the sternum, lifts the chin. Go ahead and take the gaze up as well. And release, take the block, move it to the floor. Heel to the feet together. Lift the heels, press the hands together in front of your chest, and begin to bend the knees slowly. Slowly take your time to get to the bottom. And then take the knees wide. Actually, this time, take the feet wider and find yogi squat. Hands press in front of the heart. Use the elbows to press the knees in opposite directions. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out, hands to the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step the foot forward between the hands. Back knee taps down, untuck the toes. Reach the arms to the sides and up. Let the hips fall forward or shift forward. Lift the sternum up, chin lifts. Imagine the block still between your inner thighs, rotating back as the tailbone gets heavy. Breathing in. Imagine you have each of your hands on your shoulder blades, pulling the shoulder blade down and up. That doesn't make any sense. Pulling the bottom of the shoulder blade forward so that you've got almost like the shelf of the shoulder blades holding up the backside, the upper backside of your rib cage. And then hands come to the mat, tuck the left toes, lift the left knee, down dog split, right leg lift. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, come to pigeon pose, right knee sits down right behind the right wrist. Sink the hips to the floor. If you need a prop under the right hip, go ahead and take it. Come to the fingertips and stay here. Close the eyes. Again, imagine the block between the thighs, rotating back as the tailbone sits or heavies towards the floor. And then sink the weight onto the right side. Swing the left leg around so you find Sukhasana. And then lean back, hands reach back, fingertips face forward, uncross the feet, feet to mat, lift hips, let the head fall back behind you. And hips come to the mat, cross right ankle over the left, roll over the feet and come to stand on the knees. Grab that block, put it between the knees. Squeeze the block, and then as if you wanted to push the block backwards, find that action with the thighs. Might be the easiest to access here or standing up. Left arm reaches up. Again, right hand comes to the left shoulder blade. The fingertips reach towards the bottom of the shoulder blade, and that's what we want to pull out to the side and forward. As you do that, lift the left arm up and swim the left arm back and catch the inner edge of the left thigh where the block is touching the inner thighs. And then release the right arm. You're just going to have to do that one on its own. Swim it back and catch the inner edge of the right thigh. Allow this to lift the chest. Hold on to the inner legs here. Let the chin fall back a bit. Then squeeze the legs to come back up. Remove the block and find downward facing dog with bent knees. Keep the knees bent here. Inhale, left leg lift. Exhale, step the foot forward between the hands and drop the right knee down, untuck the toes. Arms reach to the sides and up, and then let the hips sink forward. Find all of these same actions. There's a little bit of an external rotation in the upper arm bone to find that action of the shoulder blade. Lift the sternum, lift the chin, feel the tailbone heavy. Breathing in. Breathing out, hands come to the mat, tuck right toe, lift right knee, down dog split, left leg sweeps up and back, bend the knee, open the hip, and then straighten out the leg and exhale, half pigeon, left knee comes down behind the left wrist, sink the hips down towards the floor, come onto the fingertips, and breathe. Breathing in. Breathing out. One more cycle here. Inhale. Exhale, sink onto the left hip, swing the right foot around. Sukhasana. Lean back on the hands, fingertips face forward, uncross the feet, lift the hips, head falls back, breathe in. Reverse tabletop. Breathe out, lower the hips, cross left ankle over the right, roll over the feet, come to stand on the knees, catch a block, place it between the thighs. Find the action with the block in the inner thighs. Right arm reaches up, take the left hand to the right shoulder blade. Again, feel the fingertips on the bottom of the shoulder blade. As you lift the chest, feel the bottom of the shoulder blade reach out and forward. And then swim the right arm back, catch the inner edge of the thigh. Swipe the left hand out, swim it back as well, catch the inner edge of the left thigh. And then keep heaving the tailbone as you lift the chest, lift the chin. And squeeze the legs to come back to center. Remove the block. Hands to the mat. Find downward facing dog with bent knees. Inhale, come to plank pose. Exhale, look forward, lower halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, walk the hands towards the back of the mat. When you get to the back, take a half lift. Exhale, hands to the waist. Come to stand up and heel toe the feet together. Take the hands to the waist and bend your left knee, bring the heel towards the seat. Left hand reaches back, catch the inner edge of the foot. Again, right hand, instead of reaching the shoulder blade, catch underneath the armpit and find that same action of pulling the skin forward and up as you kick your left foot into your left hand. We're not doing a full dancer pose, just a baby dancer here to release the front of the left leg and to find this action in the upper body. And then take the hands to the waist, extend the left leg long in front of you, and release the foot down. From here, weight comes into the left foot, bend your right knee. Right hand reaches back, catch the inner edge of the foot. Left hand comes to the side body right underneath the armpit. And then as you kick the foot into the right hand, feel the left hand pull this armpit skin forward and up. The same skin that's attached to the bottom of the shoulder blade. Just a baby here. And then release the hands, hands to waist, extend your right leg long and release the foot down. Bring the feet together, hands touch in front of the heart. Lift the heels. Again, slowly lower the seat all the way to the mat. Let the knees tip forward, hands come to the mat, downward facing dog. Inhale, leg lift. Exhale, step the foot forward between the hands, back knee taps down, untuck the toes. Inhale, arms reach to the sides and up. This time, interlace the hands behind you, and then scrub the interlaced hands down the inner edge of your left thigh as you lift the chest up. Let the chin lift, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Let the hands come to the mat, tuck the left toes, left knee lifts, down dog split, breathe in, right leg lifts. Breathe out, bend the knee, open the hip. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, come back to pigeon pose. Knee comes behind the right wrist, sink the hips down. This time, come to the fingertips, but walk the fingertips a little bit forward. This time, bend your left knee, bring the heel towards the seat. Resist the urge to want to reach back and catch the foot. We're not going to do that here. As my teacher says, resist the urge, or what did she say? I know you want to make it more dramatic, but don't. So accurate. Stay with the breath in and out. Bring the left toe down, keep it tucked, hands come underneath shoulders, lift left knee, step to plank pose, breathe in. Breathe out, lower all the way to the belly. Come up to Sphinx pose. Forearms come to the mat, elbows are underneath shoulders. Right hand comes over towards the left at a diagonal. Left heel comes in towards the seat. Left hand reaches back, catch the inner edge of the foot. Pull the heel down towards the outer edge of your left hip. And then swivel the fingertips forward if it's available, elbow points up towards the ceiling. Turn the chest back forward. If this is crunching in your low back, move your right forearm forward and reduce the back bend in the low back here. But we are looking for an opening in the front of the left leg or a release of the left hip flexor. And then gently release the foot and lower the forehead down to the mat. From here, press the hands and knees and find downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. Exhale, step the foot between the hands, back knee taps down, untuck the toes. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, interlace the hands behind you, interlace non-habitual way. Scrub the interlace hands down the inner edge of your right thigh. Let the chest lift, let the upper arm bones externally rotate, let the chin lift as well. Keep sinking the hips forward, keep heavying the tailbone. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, release the hands to the mat, tuck right toes, lift right knee. Inhale, down dog split, left leg lifts. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, knee comes forward for half pigeon pose, sink the hips down towards the mat. From here, walk the fingertips a little bit more forward. Bend your right knee, heel comes towards the seat. Again, don't reach back for the foot, just stay here and breathe. One more cycle, in and out. Straighten out your right leg, keep the toes tucked, hands come underneath shoulders. Now lift right knee, step to plank pose, left foot steps back. Exhale, lower all the way to the belly. Come up to Sphinx pose, forearms come underneath, or come to the floor, elbows underneath the shoulders. This time, left hand comes over towards the right at a diagonal. Right heel comes in towards the right seat. Right hand reaches back and catches the inner edge of the foot. Pull the heel towards the outer edge of the right hip. If it's available, turn the fingers or swivel the fingertips forward, elbow points up, and then turn the chest back towards the front of the space. Again, if it's too much crunching in the low back, just swivel this or just inch this right forearm forward. Breathing in, keep turning sternum and chest towards front of the space. Breathe out. Breathing in. Breathing out, release the right foot, forehead comes to the mat. This time, bend both knees, catch the outer edges of the foot with either hand. Just stay here for a cycle of breath in this Dhanurasana bow pose preparation. Breathing in, breathing out. On your next inhale, kick the feet into the hands and lift up, look forward, lift the chest. You're balancing on the fleshy part of the belly and the bottom two ribs. Inner legs pull towards one another. See if you can imagine the block between the thighs. So the thigh bones are still barely internally rotating. See if you can reach the tailbone towards the heels and release down to the mat. Hands come underneath the forehead. Swivel the hips side to side. And then slide the hands underneath the armpits. Come to hands and knees and come to stand up on the knees. From here, left arm reaches up. Take the right hand to the right shoulder blade once again. This time we're going to take full camel, full Ustrasana. So why don't we start with the toes tucked. Find the imaginary block between your thigh bones. Push the block back as you heavy the tailbone and then begin to lift the sternum as this shoulder blade, the bottom of the shoulder blade reaches a little bit out and forward. As your left hand reaches up and back, swim it back to the left ankle. Reach the right arm up and swim it back towards the right ankle. Let the head fall all the way back. See if you can keep a little bit of that softness in the groin as you heavy the tailbone. And then squeeze your imaginary block to come up. Hands press in front of the heart. Just untuck the toes for a moment. Sit back on the heels in Vajrasana. Hands come to the lap. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Eyes might be closed here. Or if your eyes are open, just look, find something to look at. Come back up onto the knees, tuck the toes. Right arm reaches up, left hand comes to the left shoulder blade. Yeah, really spread the fingers when you do this. Imagine you're block between the legs, thigh bones barely internally rotate. Block pushes back as you heavy the tailbone. So find somewhere in the middle of this, keeping the groin soft while also not sticking the butt way back like this. And then feel the left hand begin to turn the bottom edge of your shoulder blade a little bit out and then forward as the right hand reaches up. Swim it back. Continue to create space for the shoulder blade on the back. And then swipe the left hand up and swim this arm back as well for full camel pose. Let the head fall back. Maybe you untuck the toes. The thigh bones can come back a little bit to keep the groin soft. Keep heavying the tailbone. And then squeeze into the imaginary block to lift yourself back up. Come to sit on the heels. Hands come to the lap. Close the eyes or look at something in front of you. From here, we're going to come to Virasana. So knees come together, feet go wide so that the hips can sit in between the heels. Many of us will need a block for this. And then come back up for a moment and take your fingers to the crease, the back crease of the knee. Pull your calf muscle back, straight back as you sit back. And then take the hands to the front of the knees. Lift your right knee and pull the skin up and over. And then do the same with the left. Feel the sides of the waist lengthen here. Again, some of us will need a block underneath the seat. And then walk the hands back. Some of us will just stay here up on our hands, and we've done some opening in the shoulders. So hopefully you can test out bending into the elbows a little bit. Otherwise, come onto the forearms. If you're on the block, you're going to stay on your forearms. If you're not on a block, you may be able to puff up the chest, let the head fall back, and rest on the crown of the head. Really letting the throat open. If you're on the block, you can let the head fall back as well. One more cycle of breath wherever you are, in and out. If the crown of the head's on the floor, press down through the elbows, tuck the chin as you come up. If you're on a block, just gently walk your hands back up and then come up onto the knees. Take a block, put it between the ankles and sit back down. Hands come to the lap. Let the eyes close. Moving into our seated meditation here. Let the body become still once again. And bring your mind back to whoever you dedicated class to. So create a mental picture of whoever or whatever that was. And as you breathe in, you're going to breathe in specifically this group or person's pain and frustration and sadness and hurt. Any what we would traditionally classify as negative emotions or negative feelings, circumstances, you're going to breathe that in. And when you breathe out, you're going to send your person or your group or whatever you dedicated practice to, you're going to send them with your breath love and kindness and peace and justice and a quality of ease and lightness. So on the breath in, you breathe in pain and hurt and their sadness, frustration, injustice. On your breath out, you send them love and care and ease and joy and health. keep going with this for another 30 seconds. Using the breath as a tool for healing yourself and healing those around you. Begin to allow this visualization to fade away, return to normal everyday breathing. Feel the hands resting on the top of the lap. Open the eyes, lift up and remove the block. Cross the ankles behind you and roll over the feet. Plant the feet to the ground. Last time here, hands come back behind you, fingertips face forward. Lift the hips up, let the head fall heavy. And bring the feet back to the mat. Find Baddha Konasana. And Dandasana, extend the legs long. And then bend the knees. Catch behind the knees and roll onto your back. Take your strap. Keep both feet on the floor for this. Take the strap to the ball of the right foot and then just extend the right heel up towards the ceiling. We're not going to make this, again, like my teacher said, resist the urge to make it dramatic. Keep it easy, no strain. So just hands aren't gripping super hard. You're not trying to pull the knee super like a bunch in towards the nose. Just let the leg reach up towards the ceiling. Take both edges of the strap into your right hand. Let the foot open up to the right, maybe just 6 inches. Bring the foot back to center and take your left foot up into the strap. Bend your right knee, bring the right foot down towards the mat so the right knee stays bent on the ground. Same thing here. Feel your whole back on the mat. Letting this be easy. Both edges of the strap come into your left hand. Open the leg to the left about 6 inches. And then bring it back to center. And remove the foot from the strap. Cross the ankles, catch the outer edges of the feet, and roll yourself up and back. Once you're to a seat, find Dandasana, and then find Baddha Konasana, and then extend your left leg out to the side. Flex the left foot, flip your left hand up, bring the forearm to the top of the left thigh or inside. Right arm reaches up and overhead. Make this simple. You Baddha Konasana. And extend your right leg long. Flip the palm up, take it inside the leg. Left arm reaches up and overhead. Gaze goes up and underneath the left armpit. Flex the left foot. Turning chest up towards the ceiling. Unclench the jaw and come up. Hands come behind you, Baddha Konasana. And Upavista Konasana, extend the legs. So the legs do not have to be this wide. You can be way more narrow, just a little bit wider than hips width distance. You can also put a blanket underneath the seat. Take the hands behind you and stay here. Just look at the feet. Make sure the toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. Knees are pointing up as well. And then take a block, maybe 2 blocks. I'm going to do 1, I think, for now, and bring the forearms to the block. So just a little bit of a forward fold. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Come back up. Lean back. Find Baddha Konasana. And find Dandasana. Extend the legs long. Hug the right knee into the chest. Open the knee to the side. Frame the left leg with both hands. Turn your sternum towards the left leg and then walk the hands forward any amount. Let the head fall heavy. Keep the left leg active. And then walk yourself back up. Hug right knee into the chest and release the right leg long. Hug the left knee into the chest. Open the knee to the side. Frame your right leg with the hands. Turn your sternum towards the right leg and walk the hands forward. Fold over the leg. Open and close the mouth. Unclench the jaw. Make sure that you're not tapping back into your habits and tendencies of making this aggressive. Walk the hands back up, hug the left knee into the chest, and extend the leg long. Hands frame both legs now. Squeeze inner legs towards the center and walk the hands forward any amount. Maybe you catch the outer edges of the feet. Let the forehead come towards the shins. Folding any amount here. Two more cycles of breath. And walk yourself back up. Take your two blocks on the lowest flattest setting, one right on top of the other, and place them at the back edge of your mat. And then scoot yourself towards the front edge of your mat. Catch yourself behind the knees and roll onto your back. Take the feet up towards the ceiling. Catch yourself behind the legs for a moment. And then bend the knees in towards the chest. Hands come down towards the floor. Knees are going to come towards the chest and the feet are going to come up and overhead to a plow pose or halasana. And then you've got your blocks back there that you could take your toes to if you feel tight in the hamstrings. You're also welcome to take your toes to the floor. And then interlace the hands behind you and roll either shoulder underneath the back. Keep the feet flexed. Legs are active here. And then bend at the elbows. Take the hands to the low back. Take your left foot up and then your right for shoulder stand. Stay with your breath. Don't move the neck. Keep the gaze up towards the toes. Keep lifting the hips up so that they're in line with the shoulders as you can get. Letting the blood drain from the feet and the ankles back towards the heart. Put a little bend in the knees and then take the feet up and over the head once again for plow pose. Stay here for a moment longer. And then extend the arms long, palms face down, arms are straight. And then use the arms of the hands as brakes as you gently roll yourself back down to your back. Just releasing one vertebra at a time onto your mat. And then the legs extend long as well. Just find a mini shavasana here for a moment. Let the space open back up in the front of the body, the throat. And you can bend the knees and shimmy your way back onto your mat. Let the feet separate just slightly wider than the hips, knees knock in, and just cross the arms over the chest. Right arm comes in front first. Hands just rest lazily down by the shoulder blades. And then put the opposite arm in front. Left arm comes closest to the face. Eyes can be closed. And then hug the knees in towards the chest. Lift the forehead towards the knees so that the knees almost rest right in the eye socket. And release everything for our final posture, Shavasana. Legs come long, feet splay out, arms are by the sides, palms face up. Open and close the mouth a few times. Shake the head no. Let the tongue rest heavy in the mouth. Soften the inner and outer corners of the eyes. Smooth the muscles of the face. Feel all the muscles unclench themselves from the bone. And know deeply that all of your work in this class, in this practice, will integrate into your body and your mind without any effort on your part. So fully let yourself relax and let go. without moving or changing it at all. Just gently bring your attention back to your breath. Bring movement to your fingers and your toes. Bend the knees. Bring the soles of the feet to the mat and let the knees fall to the right side. Roll the whole body to the right side and find a pillow with the arms. Keeping the eyelids closed, press down through the left hand to lift yourself up to a seat. Find a comfortable position with the non-habitual leg in front. Hands rest on the lap. Eyes stay closed or eyelids heavy. We find ourselves saying to the world, what do we do? What can I do? The better question might be, how am I showing up? I ask the world for peace, but do I show up with peace when I see my family and friends? I ask the world to put a stop to hatred, but do I show up with love for not only those I know, but those I do not know? Do I show up with love for those whose ideas conflict with my own? I ask the world to end suffering, but do I show up for those who are suffering on my street corner? We say to the world, please change. We need change. But how do we show up to change our own lives? Gather the hands in front of your heart center. Put a little tuck in your chin and take one more moment here to notice how you feel. And then take the thumbs to the third eye or the space between the eyebrows. Put a even little more tuck in the chin. And bring to mind the smallest possible thing that you can be grateful for today as a way to seal your own practice. Namaste. Thanks, gang. We're back to our regular schedule. Class will be on Thursday at 11 a.m. The next class, and then I'll be here next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Suggested donations are a minimum of $10, and you can find me on Venmo and PayPal. Thank you so much for practicing with me this evening, and I'll see you next time. Sending you love. Thanks, Alyssa. See you soon.